And good Monday morning, already June the 13th. How do you feel today? 75 as you're waking up, and this will be the coolest that you are throughout the day. Why? Temperatures will rise to about 97. The heat index is going to reach about 105. In other parts of the state, expected to be, well, nearly 110. So hot weather in store for us. And that reminds us of heat strokes can happen so easily. If you work outside, make absolutely sure that you stay cool, hydrated, all the above. I've seen it happen before. People, you can just snap like that and fall out and have a heat stroke from this. It's almost, it is a stroke. Tongue-tied, it's rough. We don't want that to happen to you. Cool somebody down, take breaks as necessary. We don't want you hurt out there. It's not worth overdoing it. Don't weed eat in the middle of the day. I know you get busy and think, I've got to get this done, but do it early, do it late. You'll do a lot better there. Lots of things to avoid in the dead heat of the day. That somewhere, from lunchtime till 3 o'clock being usually the worst there is with the day. Well, that's what I've got to say about the weather at this point. We got complete details of what's coming up. We'll go into all the weather forecasts, what to expect this week. We'll look at the tropics, something brewing down there. Hopefully it's going to stay away from us. It looks like it. But we'll go into detail of that also this morning. Almost a eerie calmness over the city as we begin today. Not much to report in ways of major crime in any way, which is great news. We always like to report that. Daylight is just now breaking. Maybe more will come about, but we'll tell you about what we know at this point. As always, if you see something, hear something, inbox us to let us know so we can share with others what has gone on in the overnight hours. I have gotten a lot. Boy, they sure are pretty. If you've been on vacation, you've been somewhere, and you just see something that looks great, share it with us. It's always good. Here's a picture sent in from, where is this? This is out in Branson, Missouri. Clarence Westbrook sent this to us. Beautiful. We've gotten them from Hawaii. We've gotten them from the Grand Canyon, local areas as well. No matter where you are, you see something that looks good, share it. Others would like to see that sunset or that morning rise or just whatever it is. It's just gorgeous. We'd like to share that with others also. Always looks good there. Where was this? This was Oak Tibby. Beautiful scenery there as the sun going down. Let's look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's always good to take in Mother Nature and live for that moment. Again, how are you today? Ralph Fortenberry is up. Debbie Harmon, good morning to you. Christy Skipper, Julie Alphen, I see you from Corinth. Chuck Millsaps, how you doing, Chuck? Glad to see you up in Adam. Kathy Sharp is up also. Mike Dallas. Almost said that wrong, didn't I, Mike? Ann Murphy, Janice Bounds, Joyce Gressett, Foley, Alabama. Ken Long, how are you doing there? My wife seems to like Foley. She usually spends a lot of money in that town when she gets near it. All the way from Bassick City, we say good morning to Denise Fulton and Tyler Smith watching us from Collinsville. Always good to see where you're watching from as well. Share that with us, wherever you're watching from today. All right, well, let's discuss a few things that are up and coming that we're aware of. We did have a fender bender this weekend on I-20, westbound lane. I don't know if you had a chance to take a look at Sam Media, but boy, those guardrails just really get in the way sometimes, don't they? Here's the scene of that. Ran down. Here's the car that accidentally bumped into that. And as you get a better look at that, that's a big old guardrail there. It will mess up your car. So that happened over the weekend there. No one seriously injured, but still not anything good to bump into, as we saw that. Let's see here. I did have a lot of reports. I haven't gotten a confirmation from the Meridian Police Department yet. I'll speak with someone today about this, but I did have some reports of a huge police presence up at Sam's over the weekend. I put it there, and a lot of people that were there reported possibly seeing a child left in a car while somebody shopped. Again, I don't have confirmation from that yet from the Meridian Police Department, but it appears with all the comments something to that effect went on. With that being said, I urge you, today is one of those days we do not need to leave a pet, person. Make sure a car is running, and for heaven's sake, never leave a child unattended in a car when it's hot. Just not good. And that may not be the case here. We're just saying that to be absolutely on your best behavior when it comes to that. Inside a car is so much hotter than we realize. You can add 30 to 40 degrees pretty quickly of what's outside and what's inside a car. We see deaths happen each summer that could have been preventable. Somebody forgets an infant in the back seat, whatever the case is, your pet. Don't let that happen. I did have one of my pups one time jump in a car. I didn't know he was there. And about an hour later, you don't hear that yelping, and you realize somebody's not in the room with you, and that's what had happened. He was okay, but could have been differently. Just watch your pets and remember to be on your P's and Q's as we get into this hot, hot summer ahead of us. Coming up tomorrow, the Wesley House, they do so much for the community. As we pull up this, they're going to have a prayer service tomorrow at noon. Again, at the Wesley House there for Kenneth Kroom. Hope you can go out for that as they do a little prayer there. Again, it's going to be at Wesley House tomorrow. Hope you can make it for that. A good thing to be at. If you haven't had a chance to pass by the Meridian Police Department over the weekend, this was set up. I want to share these pictures with you. Our fallen officer, as they've put his car on display. And this is done in many, many cities across America. When an officer falls in the line of duty, they place his patrol car in front of their station, wherever it is, where people can pay respects. And Meridian Police Department has done that. If you hadn't had a chance to go by and see this, this is his patrol car that he was driving when the incident happened. This was set up. I went by early Sunday morning to get this. But again, if you haven't seen it in person, I urge you to swing by. 22nd Avenue, before I put an S on everything, that's right before you get to the Hooper's building. And also there where the Children's Museum, it'll be on the left side past Wendy's. Go by and take a look at that. In remembrance of that. Officers were there. I spoke with them while I was there also this weekend. Touching, very touching. As we get into more of this, I am being told we haven't gotten the exact time, but we will tell you more. We do know that the funeral services will be held in Tuscaloosa this up-and-coming Saturday. We don't have a time nor a place yet, but we're being told that. And I want to also show this. This will be placed on patrol cars throughout Meridian. We want to say thank you to Graphics Guru for making these and distributing these to the Meridian Police Department. I think this is going to be a bigger one of these placed on the back glass of his patrol car as it's taken to the funeral as well. This will be put on there. Again, a big thank you to Graphics Guru for making these for the Meridian Police Department. They will put these on the cars around town of all the police cars. Big thank you for doing that. That's good. Last night, there was a fender bender, so to speak. A Meridian police officer was involved in this. A supervisor, as we go to this, I started getting reports of a wreck. Before long, we started getting pictures of what went on. Here's a patrol car. It was a supervisor, as we said. He was en route. As we look at this, and also I'll have video there on Facebook if you'd like to look at that of what went on last night. No one was seriously hurt. He was en route. Someone didn't yield the right-of-way to a police officer responding, and the accident happened. A few blocks from there, and I thought at first it was all one wreck, but it was not. But a couple of blocks away, a single vehicle accident happened within probably 2 minutes of that wreck. It was a single vehicle where a car ran off the road on, let's see, the exact address was at 29th and 31st Avenue. It knocked out power. At first, I thought it was all involved in one wreck, but it was two separate wrecks there. But let me see here. I think I can show a quick bit of the video live from the scene there from last night. I think I've got that here.
She got a baby to go. The baby in her hand.
And again, that was the scene of what went on there last night. A little fender bender there. I think everybody was okay in the end there, but always scary when a wreck happens there. Police officer involved in that, and Metro was on scene, the fire department, to take care of everybody. We'll talk more about this this morning as Candace comes in. Did you get a chance to go by Friday? And I showed this, I think, Saturday morning, but it is well worth re-showing a few of the pictures that went on as the funeral, as the body Officer Kroom came through Meridian. He was escorted by the Mississippi Highway Patrol, the Sheriff's Department, as well as the Meridian Police Department escorted it as they came through. And, of course, the fire trucks were set up as he passed through Meridian. This is the guys there watching as he came. Numerous police officers lined the different overpasses in Meridian to see. Very touching moment there. A lot of people turned out for that. And again, we'll talk more about that this morning at 8 o'clock when we go live. I hope you'll join us back for that. Don't forget, we're going to be making a change on the television side coming up at the beginning of the month. July 4th will be our first day that we move from MeTV, which is basically the Andy Griffith Network. We will be moving to Fox 30. We'll be able to, on the television side, reach a lot more homes across the area on the television side. So you'll be able to watch us on Fox 30. That will also be carried on Comcast. And then also to where we haven't been able on the television side to reach you with satellites, Dish Network, DirecTV. This will also be available then. I'll get all the channels written down so I'll be able to tell you the right thing. But it'll be able to, you'll be able to see it better. Bigger and better as we keep progressing with this little show. It's been going on for what? We've been together, about 2 years now doing this? Each day we get bigger. Thank you to y'all. Y'all give us so much information to go on to make this. And people are hungry for the truth throughout our area, without a shadow of a doubt. Wanted to mention this. If you've got a child in Lauderdale County, doesn't matter who it is, from the ages, anyone up to 18, over at Northeast. Let's pull this up so you can see this. This happens every day. Summer meals at the Lauderdale County School District. All you got to be is anyone from 0 to 18. And they fix you a great breakfast and also a lunch. And why? Well, there's a lot of kids that wouldn't get a great meal. I know y'all have heard these stories. In some homes, you can't fathom not having a hot meal every time. But they exist. And this is to help those kids that need it. School is a blessing to them because they're fed twice a day. And so this helps out those. So if you know someone, send them by. No questions asked. They take care of you. That is really a good thing for our community. We've got coming up a few things in the community I want you to know about as we get ready for the car show for David Shelton. This is going to be on the 25th of this month. I want to show you this picture. This is going to be down at Meridian Honda on Front Street. Take place. Benefit for him, $20 entry fee if you'd like to enter your vehicle. It will start at 2 o'clock and run through 5 o'clock. All the proceeds go to help David with their medical expenses. Great guy, known his family forever here in the Meridian area. We got door prizes and things that are going to be going given away. Again, that's the 25th. Now, coming up this weekend, and I also wanted to mention today a few things that's going to be going on. And if you haven't seen these flyers, I've got mine right here. If you haven't seen these floating around Meridian, All In for Alexa. My friend Richard Ferguson, his wife was in the hospital, and I need to talk to Richard of all of it, but it was 110 days or so, extremely sick. Richard has incurred tons and tons of medical bills that, insurance doesn't pay. They don't pay for all the food and gas. And this is to help him out. There's going to be a concert coming up the 18th at the Temple Theater. Doors will open at 2 o'clock. Concert will start at 3. Now, that's not all that's going to be going on. A raffle. All kinds of great prizes have been collected from Meridian businesses, and they're raffling these off. Also, barbecue plates will be sold there at the Temple Theater. Now, beginning today at the Pavilion in Marion, next to the Little Kettle between 2 and 6, you'll find Ray. Yeah. He's going to be out. He's going to be overselling some tickets to all of these events this afternoon in Marion, Mississippi. So if you'd like to help out Richard, you're going to be out and about near Marion this afternoon between the hours of 2 and 6. Drop in and visit with Ray. He'll be under the pavilion there selling these. I hope you'll, him and Miss Carol, they'll be there helping you out. So drop in. It's a great thing. It helps somebody that has been a part of our community forever and a day. He does gospel, as you've known Richard's name. If you're thinking, I know Richard, but where from? He does Southern Gospel each week here in Meridian on radio. On him forever. As we start to look around the state of Mississippi, what has gone on over the weekend? Jones County, which is due south from us. There's always a news story there. This time is tragedy as a woman was struck by a car in traffic and killed. Condolences to that family. No word yet of how that came about. Jackson, Mississippi, there's not much that you always can't say about Jackson that something horrible hasn't happened. And this weekend, a woman was shot and killed while she was in her car. She was shot in the neck. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Happened on Cooper Road in Jackson. Horrible. I don't know what that murder rate is there now, what that number is in Jackson, but it's huge. Meridian stands at 8 for the year. As we move to our next story, have you seen this with the woman on death row? She's going to get a state appeal. She was sentenced to death in 2006. She was convicted of 2 counts of capital murder and the 2004 killing of 2 people in Hattiesburg. Boy, after you... the tricky part of this gets into some potential jurors were let go. Her legal team is saying they shouldn't have been released. That was done improperly. The judge ruled it wasn't enough to give a retrial on that. If you read the details of that case, it's scary. Look it up. It's interesting there as we look at this. Horrible of the details of what went on with that. This must be a new thing. Back in my early years of promoting things, it wasn't much of this. You didn't see this, but I hear more and more, especially here in the South, to where somebody has what they call pasture parties. Are y'all familiar with this? And a promoter comes in and $20 to get in. You bring your four-wheeler, you bring your horses. Well, some folks in Yazoo are ready for this to go away. They say it's always a constant gunfire, shootings at these, and the community is sick of it. No word yet if they can stop this, but I've even heard about these in our area also going on. Not the same people, but something similar. But Yazoo's sick of it. They're ready to stop it. Hooting and hollering all night and gunfire. They want it stopped. We'll see what the supervisors do for them in Yazoo County. Well, if you were out and about and you were brave enough to head to the capital city over to the Ag Center and the Forestry Museum, they had the great annual Pickle Fest this weekend. I'll have to say I missed that, but there's a lot of people that like pickles and like to attend festivals like that. I guess the last time I watched a pickle festival was when I watched the Andy Griffith Show when Aunt Bee made all those pickles and him and Barney had to eat all those. Y'all remember that episode? It was good and funny. Do y'all remember the 82-year-old man that I mentioned not long ago that stopped to help someone? He was robbed and beaten nearly to death on a Mississippi highway. He still lies in ICU in critical condition. That's the good news. Horrible that could happen in our state. The hospitality state on top of that. And again, he stopped to help somebody because he felt they needed it. And they took advantage of that. They need to be dealt with swift and quick. Well, if you were planning to go to New Orleans, there's a lot of people that love to go to New Orleans. And you wanted to go to the Voodoo Festival? Whoop. Change of plans. For the 3rd year straight in a row, the Voodoo has been canceled. You can't make it. No word yet on what Marie Laveau thinks about this. Well, this has caused up a stir. I mentioned this Saturday morning. Your teens. And Meridian needs to head this way. Because as we see all the spikes in crimes and gunfire, and apparently Vicksburg has been plagued with the same thing that Meridian has. Youth having guns, shooting them. Well, they've implemented a curfew in Vicksburg. And if your child is out past this time, they take the teen into custody and then they find the parents. They made a raid at the mall there in Vicksburg over the weekend. Parents are fined up to $700 and they're mad. All you have to do is have your child where they're supposed to be. If a curfew is put in, you handle it. It's amazing how people want crime handled, and then the police try to implement that, and they get mad at the police again. Isn't that sad that we live in a place like that? It is, in my opinion, anyway. And I understand that not everybody agrees with the way I think. You know, there's good, there's bad, and there's wrong. There's no in between with me on that. It's just a straight down the middle. You're on one side of the fence or the other. But not everybody agrees with that, do they? Some stories I read, I scratch my head as we look at a few of these national stories. A California church has had their pastor resigned. He had to resign over the fact that he was branded a racist. He's the first transgender bishop in California because, well, he fired a Puerto Rican pastor, if I understand this correctly, for being Puerto Rican. Didn't go over too well. He also wore bulletproof vests while he threatened the congregation and police. I think they need a little prayer going on out there. That whole story is and confusing on top of it. But that's California. I remember when he was hired, and I remember when that situation happened. But the news story out of that today is he has resigned. As Biden, as we look to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, why is America in the shape that it's in? It's because so many lawmakers demanded that we defund the police. They took millions away from police, made them stop arresting people. There's even cities that will not let them pull over somebody for traffic violations because they don't want it to seem that they're targeting people. Again, I go back to there's right and wrong. If you break the law, you should be pulled over. Doesn't matter the color of your skin. You're an American. At the end of the day, that's what you are. In most cases, you are. And we've got some cities to where they're not. But if you break the law, you should get your ticket. It's a fair thing. But as we look at this, Biden, who says that he's for police, his administration has hosted, and they've gone into the books, Fox News has dug into this, they've hosted the visitor log of all these leaders that wanted to defund the police, still going on as they look back of the record logs of the White House. And we wonder why we're in such shape we are. You have to start at the top. That's where it all begins, no matter what organization it is. Whether you're the manager of a building, of your group, you're the president of your company, whatever you do is what represents your company or your country. People follow suit with how you act. If you go to the Christmas party and get drunk and act a fool, well, your employee's going to do the same. You have to set yourself as an example as you are the leader. We all know that. Oh, everybody makes mistakes, don't get me wrong, but as a leader, you look to and held at a higher caliber than everybody else. The same as a pastor. A pastor should be here. He's the head of his flock. He sets himself above everyone else, and that's my feelings on that. Not everyone agree. I've never bumped into Danny Lanier anywhere in town that he wasn't here. Matter of fact, I saw Brother Danny on Friday. He's always there, leading his flock. 99% of our preachers are. There's a few that fall by the wayside, and there's a few of our, well, let's back up on that. There's more of our politicians that fall short of that. We know that. Sometimes even in our community right here that happens. I think y'all agree with that. As we look to another headline, some of this you believe, some of it you don't. It's all hearsay until all this happens. What's going to happen on the GOP side as the run for president approaches? As soon as these midterms are over in November, you will start to see the names emerge. Ron DeSantis is up there at the top. Also, Donald Trump. Who's going to announce first? They already say that Donald is searching Florida somewhere there to make the big announcement as soon as the midterm elections are over. They're saying that he's trying to put it as close to DeSantis' mansion, the governor's mansion of Florida, as he can to show him that I'm in charge. That all could be rumor, but that's what the news is today. We'll watch those stories closely to see what's true. They could be teaming up. We don't know. I know that the news media tried to divide the two earlier in the year, and both of them said we don't have anything against each other. We'll see what the truth is. Only time will tell of who works together and who doesn't. Sad news as we look to some of these stories this morning. A body of a 6-year-old boy has been found by a kayaker 3 days after his mother, 29, drowned trying to save him. They both perished. How sad that is. Hurts you to even tell stories like that. That was in Massachusetts. Another Joe story. We'll leave that one alone, where he gets confused with the media. It's just one after another each day there as he gets in front of cameras and really doesn't know what he's saying. I've got your forecast next. We'll go into detail of what the weather is going to do today. Again, hot weather before we get into that. But that's on the way next. Don't rush off. We'll tell you more about it here in just a few moments. We'll be back with all of that right here. Rockhouse Gun and Pawn is having a 10-year anniversary celebration blowout. Absolutely no sales tax on used firearms. 25% off all gun cleaning and gun care accessories. And a free box of ammo with every purchase of a new Glock pistol. 50% off all pawn electronics. 50% off on pawn tools. 25% off on all jewelry. Huge markdowns throughout the store. It's the Rock House 10-year anniversary celebration blowout. 5430 Highway 19 North.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
Well, Meridian Honda radar says it's going to be hot. What is all of this, well, orangey looking color? That is we look at that, a heat advisory until 8 p.m. tonight. Excessive heat, look at that, the entire state of Mississippi, most of Alabama, portions of Louisiana, on up through Tennessee, even Nashville, Murfreesboro. Y'all are in this with us. Again, until 8 p.m. We'll look at that. It's going to be extremely hot as you go up the coast here. To the Carolinas, excessive heat watch in effect there. And you'll see this look at this, how big this is of the heat wave that comes across the United States. On up through Indiana, Ohio, they've got it as well. Some showers to the north as we get into the Dakotas and around Minneapolis, and we got this in the northwest portion of the country also. Billings, North Dakota. All the way out here, you guessed it, Portland got some showers, and the heat wave continues across Texas, back to the southern states here across here. All right, let's get deeper into the forecast now. Let you know what the National Weather Service has to tell us.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Our record highs, record lows, 101 was set on this date back in 63. 1903 was a cool day. 52 was the high on that day. As we look at today, sunny and hot. We're looking at 97 throughout Meridian, through Philadelphia, even up to Columbus, 98 degrees. In South, we're looking at 97. So no matter where you are watching me from the state of Mississippi or Alabama, look at these temperatures. 95 Tuscaloosa, tad cooler. That's not much, 2 degrees cooler than it will be here in Meridian. As we look at this, heat stress today. High temperatures, mid to upper 90s, and we're going to be anywhere from 105 to 110 with this heat. Exhaustion is likely with this if you stay outside very long. Avoid it if you can. Drink plenty of liquids there and stay cool. And it's going to continue this for this week. Look at that. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday, expected to be extremely warm. As we look at Bama, not much different. That heat advisory as we looked on our big map there a moment ago. And we'll see this 105 in Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, 103, even Montgomery, Alabama, where Hank's from, 105 today on that heat index side. Not getting any better. Look at this. We've got another system within the next 6 days that's going to roll through Mississippi and Alabama and make it even hotter. Woof. We could do without that, couldn't we? As we look to today, temperature is 97, and it will stay steady. Look at that, all week long, 94 to 98 degrees, all the way through Saturday, Sunday, pretty much the same. We got a 10% slight chance of rain, increasing to a 20% tomorrow, and by Wednesday, you might see a shower out of this, about a 40% chance. Let's go another week into this, all the way toward the end of the month through the 27th. Look at the 21st, 100, 101, and 100. I would have to say that it looks like summertime has arrived in the deep south. It's not going to be pretty. As we turn to look at the National Hurricane Center, what they're telling us, there's a little disturbance here. Not much to it. There's a 20% chance of this forming, but all models at this point show this taking a west turn back into Mexico. Now, we might see a little bit of rain and thunder there around Brownsville, that area of Texas right there at the southern tip, getting a little rain. But it doesn't appear that this will be a threat to the Louisiana, Mississippi, or Alabama coastline at this point. That's the good news out of what we see of the National Hurricane Center. As we look at your fishing report, what's going to happen today? We turn to Chet's Paint and Body. Well, it looks good. Here we go. Your best times to fish today is going to be, well, right at that dark 30. Second amount of time. It's just a hot day. If you're going to hit it, it will be lunchtime until 2 o'clock if you could stand it on the water. That'd be your best times to fish today. Big thank you to Chet's for giving us that each and every day. We want to say thank you. Again, we're sitting at 75, waiting for that high later today. Warm, warm, and warmer. Heat index of 105. Y'all be careful. We'll be back in 1 hour from now to bring you a full-fledged morning show. Candace is getting ready, getting that makeup ready. She'll be in with a smile. Y'all join us back. We'll see you 1 hour from now here, Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: